Over 1,000 days since the Russia-Ukraine war began, the world has witnessed men martyred, millions displaced, and countless families torn apart. But as the conflict drags on, a seismic political shift in the United States may alter the course of this war. The war that has scarred Ukraine and the world shows no signs of ending. Efforts for peace have repeatedly faltered, with negotiations among world leaders never materializing into actionable agreements. Amidst the turmoil, a major political change is set to take place. Donald Trump is poised to replace Joe Biden as President of the United States. The global stage is watching as Trump's leadership could redefine the dynamics of the Russia-Ukraine war. President-elect Trump has already met Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky twice since his election victory. Zelensky believes Trump holds the key to ending the war.
Trump could be decisive. I think, for us, the most important thing is that his qualities are such that he is capable of being decisive in this war. He can truly stop Putin, or more accurately, help us stop Putin. He can do that. We've had several conversations, both in meetings and over the phone.
Zelensky, once viewed as Biden's ally, seems to have placed his faith in Trump as Ukraine's last hope. But their visions for ending the war couldn't be more different. While Zelensky advocates for just peace, with no concessions of land or independence, Trump suggests the possibility of territorial compromises to save lives.
For us, victory means no one will gift them anything, neither our lands nor our independence. The question is, by what means? Everyone talks about peace, but when we talk about a just peace, it means a strong Ukraine with serious security guarantees, preventing Putin from returning with aggression.
Trump has been vocal in his criticism of Biden's handling of the war. He blames the outgoing administration of excessively funding Ukraine and thereby prolonging the conflict. He has also condemned the decision to allow the deployment of 8 AQMs into Russian territory, labeling it a strategic blunder. Furthermore, Trump has criticized Biden for failing to pursue effective diplomatic efforts to end the war. Reiterating his stance, Trump has confidently stated that if he had been president, Putin would never have dared to invade Ukraine.
More difficult is going to be the Russia-Ukraine situation. I see that as more difficult. I don't think they should have allowed missiles to be shot 200 miles into Russia. I think that was a bad thing. And that brought the Koreans in, North Korea, another man I get along with very well. I'm the only one that does. But that did a lot of bad things. I don't think that should have been allowed. Not when there's a possibility, and certainly not just weeks before I take over. Why would they do that without asking me what I thought? I wouldn't have had them do that. I think that was a big mistake they made.
Will you reverse that decision when you're in office? To let those
I might, yeah.
missiles be
I thought it was a very stupid thing to do.
Confidently, Trump has spoken of striking a deal with Putin to end the war, emphasizing that too many lives have been lost.
We should be prepared to make a deal. That's all. Got to be a deal. No, got to be a deal. Too many people being killed. That is a war that's hard. Too many people. Got to make a deal. And Putin has to make a deal.
What deal?
Do you think Putin has to make a deal, and Putin would have never gone in if I was president.
Meanwhile, Putin has mocked the notion of peace being achieved through mere words. Russia maintains that it is open to dialogue, but only on its terms, firmly rejecting any territorial concessions to Ukraine.
We are hearing more and more statements and discussions from abroad, both from political scientists and officials, that the conflict in Ukraine could end next year, and everyone is guessing how. And even the Trump team is talking about it.
We have a saying in our country, if only your words could be turned into honey.
Putin also broke his silence on the prospect of a meeting with US President-elect Donald Trump. With a wry smile and a measured tone, Putin acknowledged the anticipation, but remained non-committal about the timeline.
Well, first of all, I don't know when we'll meet because he doesn't say anything about it. I haven't spoken to him for over 4 years. I'm ready for it, of course, at any time, and I'll be ready for a meeting if he wants it.
Putin affirmed Russia's evolving strength, a pointed message to skeptics in the West. He painted a picture of a Russia that has risen above dependence, fortified its sovereignty, and positioned itself as a formidable global force.
You and people who pay your salary in the United States would very much like Russia to be in a weakened position. I have a different point of view. I believe that Russia has become much stronger over the past 2 or 3 years. Why? Because we are becoming a truly sovereign country. We are no longer dependent on anyone.
As Trump prepares to take office, this potential meeting between two of the world's most polarizing leaders could set the stage for a dramatic shift in the dynamics of the ongoing war. Europe, on the other hand, is bracing itself for Trump's presidency. With Biden's unwavering support for Ukraine potentially replaced by Trump's unpredictable policies, European leaders fear the shift may disrupt NATO's united front. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban, however, has expressed optimism.
I also hear a lot of speculation about what will happen after the inauguration of the new U.S. president. It will happen on January 20th. I'm a more cautious man. So what I see now is that there is a month left until the new president takes office. And I suggest that we pray that the new American president does not get hurt during this month, the time until he can occupy his office. And then we'll see everything else after that.
NATO, in contrast, remains committed to bolstering Ukraine's defenses. NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte made a strong case for unwavering support to Ukraine, declaring that the alliance's primary goal is to ensure Ukraine's victory against Russia. Rutte emphasized that Ukraine's triumph is not just about defending its sovereignty, but also about safeguarding shared values and ensuring the security of NATO nations. He reiterated that stopping Putin's advance is crucial for the stability of Europe and the world.
The business at hand, and the business at hand is to make sure that Ukraine has what it needs to prevent Putin from winning and for Ukraine to prevail. That is our ambition, that's what we need to achieve, because our values are at stake, but also it has a direct connection to our own security and safety going forward.
With NATO and the EU firmly backing Ukraine, President Volodymyr Zelensky remains resolute in his message. Without US support, all efforts risk being in vain. Zelensky emphasized the critical role of the United States in Ukraine's fight for sovereignty, likening Ukraine's security needs to Israel's. For Ukraine, US backing isn't just important, it's indispensable.
Any security guarantees without the United States, I believe, are weak guarantees for Ukraine. If we look at Israel's security guarantees, they managed to intercept 200, 300, 500 rockets, not with NATO, but with allied air support from the US, France, and the UK. With a strong air fleet and air defense systems operating not only within Israel, but across territories like Jordan, which intercepted Iranian rockets, Israel has significant security mechanisms.
As Trump prepares to assume office, the world watches anxiously. Will he bring a fresh approach to ending the Russia-Ukraine war, or will his policies further divide an already fractured global community? One thing is certain, the decisions made in the coming months could reshape the course of history.